Okay, guys, so over the next two lessons, we're going to be looking at interest. So, interest is a charge or a payment that you get for borrowing or depositing money. So, when you save your money with a bank or other financial institution, they pay you interest to keep their money with them. And when you borrow money from a financial institution, you get charged interest and you have to pay them more than what you borrowed. So, it's worth knowing about how interest works because of that. So, like I say, we're going to look at two kinds, simple and compound. Compound is the one more commonly used in day-to-day life, but we'll start off today by looking at simple interest and how that works. So like I said there, that's what interest is. It's a charge or a payment for borrowing or depositing money, and you pay interest when you borrow money, and you receive interest when you save money. Okay? So when you're starting to go out and get jobs and have choose which bank accounts are right for you, you may want to look at which ones are giving you the best interest rates so you can choose how you're going to get the best amount of money for what you save. Also, if you need to take out a loan for anything, again, you can have a look at how that will change over the years and how much you'll have to pay back in full. Okay, just a reminder for this, interest involves converting percentages into decimals. So just a reminder, to get a percentage into a decimal, we divide the percentage by 100, and to get a decimal into a percentage, we multiply it by 100. So if I have 7% and want to change that to a decimal, I do 7 divided by 100, giving 0.07. And if I have, let's say, 0.4 as a decimal, to get that to a percentage, I multiply it by 100. So 0.4 times 100 gives me 40. Okay? So just remember, if you need to change a percentage into a decimal, you divide it by 100. And if you need to get a decimal into a percentage, you multiply it by 100. So some key terminology that you may hear. This word here, principal, is really important. Principal is the amount that you borrow or save. So let's say you're investing $3,000 into an account. That is your principal, $3,000. That's what you're investing. Likewise, if you're borrowing, let's say $10,000, that $10,000 is the principal. So that's the amount of money that we're looking at the interest of. If you see this term per annum or PA, that just means per year. So if somebody's saying it gets 3% interest per annum, that means it gets 3% interest per year. And finally, the interest rate is the interest being paid. So that might be 3%, meaning 3% of your 3% of your money is the interest, which we'll look at calculations of in a second. So here's how you calculate simple interest. First of all, you want to convert the interest rate to a decimal, and then you want to do the principal times the interest rate times the number of years, and that interest rate should be as a decimal. Okay? So let's say you're getting 7% interest, you want to convert it to a decimal, then do the principal times that interest as a decimal, and then multiply that by the number of years. Okay? And I've just put here, you may then be asked to add the interest to the original amount, and that will tell you how much you save or owe overall. So once you've worked out the interest, you add it to the principal, add it to the original amount, and that will show you how that works, and that will give you the amount of money that you save or owe. So I want you to try quickly. How much money would you owe if you borrowed $3,000 at 4% interest over 2 years? So you may want to pause this video and have a quick go at working that out. Okay, so showing you the answer. So 4% as a decimal is 0.04. So we do our principal, 3,000, times 0.04 times 2, and that gives us $240 in interest. Okay, so you're going to have to pay an extra $240 from what you owed, and then you just add that to the principal, what you borrowed. So overall, you owe $3,240. So we've got that by calculating the interest, which is what I've done here, and then adding it to the original amount that we borrowed, which is $3,000. Okay, so overall $3,240. Give you another one to try there. So if you invest $8,000 with a 2% interest rate over 5 years, how much do you have at the end of the 5 years? And again, you may want to pause this and have a quick go at working that out. Okay, sorry if you can hear some beeping in the background, by the way. I got some pet zebra finches recently, and they're very cute, but they're very noisy, so sorry if you can hear a sort of weird beeping through this video. I'll put a photo up of them on Google Classroom. They're very cute. Anyway, the answer for that one. So I've converted my 2% into a decimal, so it's 0.02. Then I do 8,000, the principal, times 0.02, the interest rate, times 5, the number of years, and that gives me 800. Okay, so I've received $800 in interest over 5 years. Then I add that to the principal, making $8,800. Okay, so that's pretty good. If you invested in an account like that, you basically get $800 for doing nothing at all. Okay, it's a good thing about interest when you are using it to save. Can be the bad thing about it though if you're using it to borrow. Okay, and finally, if you invest $1,500 with 1% interest over 2.5 years, how much do you have at the end of the 2.5 years? So again, you may want to pause this quickly. Okay, and for this one, 1% as a decimal is 0.01, so I do 1,500 times 0.01 times 2.5, giving me $37.5. If I add that to the principal, the original $1,500, gives me $1,537.50. Okay? Just a few things to look out for on questions involving this. Sometimes rather than giving you years, they give you months for the period of time. Try and convert that into years when you can. Remember, 12 months to a year. So for example, if they tell you that the loan is for 36 months, 36 months is 3 years. Okay, divided by 12 gives you 3. They may be really sneaky and try and give you like a year and a bit. So if they give you maybe 42 months, that would be 3.5 years. But you always want to do the calculation in years. So if you get something in months, just try and work out what those months are in years, remembering there are 12 months to a year. Okay? So that is everything for me, and good luck with your questions.